Hi guys, this is another video on relative strength. I wanted to cover more on this topic because right now we are in a downward, like bearish phase where most of the stocks are down, and this is the time I feel when you can spot uh, stocks which are not falling with the market, which are showing strength against the market, and these stocks can become the future leaders in whenever the next run, smooth run, like this is a smooth run which lasted about a month, and we have had a better rally also. This lasted for way more than 5 6 months. So in this rally, if you can spot, if this rally happens again, you can now in this phase you can spot leaders which become uh, huge runners in this entire move. So right now we are here similar to this, assuming if we start the journey again. So this is the time to find stocks which are um, showing strength, and these stocks have a good chance of becoming the leaders in the next bull run. So I wanted to cover. This is the reason I wanted to cover more on how to spot relative strength. Um, in the previous video, we just plotted a line like this. This is the uh, this is the index of CNX 500 companies listed in our market. So we were comparing um, the price of the performance of the stock against the whole market. If this is not really uh, like if you've not been able to really spot the relative strength with this method, the other way what you can do is just have so if you have a I don't know if it is possible on the free account, but if you have a paid account on TradingView, just click on this layout. If you don't have this, you can also do it with whatever software that you have. Most of the softwares will let you plot another index, another chart on that graph. So you can just contact the support team of your software to know that. This is a very basic thing. So if you go on the layout, and the second one is this where it is stacked on top of each other. So now I have one graph here and one is here. On the above one, I will open CNX 500. You can also compare it with, there is another index called Nifty uh, mid mid cap and small cap 400, which means there are total 400 stocks from the mid cap and the small cap space. This is also fine because we mostly trade mid cap and small caps only. Or you can do it with CNX 500. All these 400 are there, plus there is another 100. So both are fine. Doesn't make a huge difference with if you compare with this or that. Just stick to one and you'll be good. So let's say I'm doing it with this. Uh, now, uh, on top, I will keep it as it is, and I will open the stocks here on the this second layout. So I'll show you how to compare and find out where the strength is. So this is Anant Raj, and if you see, markets turned. This was a rising 20 DMA, and then markets turned from here downward. So this is the downward slope. From here, it has been uh, it was up half and then down half. And if you see the last few days, it's just behaving the same way. It is below, price is below 20 DMA. 20 DMA is also dropping. So I don't see any strength in this stock compared to the whole market. So it's doing just the same way. So if I have to say that, do I see anything better, and if is Anant Raj performing better than the market? I don't. Clearly, it is not. So I will just skip it. Next is this. Now, just focus on the last few days. Clearly, it is way below. No, the mid cap small cap index is below 20 DMA. 20 DMA is dropping, is in a downward slope. And here we have a rising 20 DMA, and the stock is consolidating right here. So clearly, recently the stock has started doing better than the market. So this is the example of a relative strength, and it is going tight also. So this is where uh, I put it in my relative strength watch list, that these are the stocks which has started doing better than the market recently, and there is something going on. I would like to keep it in my focus list, and whenever there is a setup, whenever there is a tight area, I will go and strike. I will take a trade. Next is APL Apollo. This is an obvious example of relative strength. Just compare. You have a downward sloping here, and you have in the same period you have an uptrend, stock in uptrend, and last 4 days have been really good. So this is the best example of relative strength I can show. This is an obvious one, and I'm sure nobody will find any confusion here that uh, this is a very clear example of what strength looks like. So this can become a future leader. I will put it in my focus list. This has been really outperforming the market. Maybe it is just waiting for the market and sentiment to improve, and it might just start a new journey. Then next is Aptech. Aptech was doing better here in this phase. This is the phase where Aptech was above 20 DMA, was started doing better. But in the last few days, it has just become average. Mm. Now this is the second example of relative strength, which is not so obvious as compared to the APL Apollo one, but it is still not as good as the APL Apollo example, because that is the very clear example of how the stock should really behave in a down market. This is also, it also has some strength, but if I have to rank, it is not as good as the previous example. So where is the strength here? If you see, the lowest point in the market was 26 December, which is this. And then the markets hit another, all reached the same point, but this time Aptech was way above that low where the Nifty was the previous time. The index, small cap index, was the previous time. So this is what the second example of relative strength is. Here you have a huge higher low where the index was really down, and now it has made a new low, but it's still not as bad as this point. So this is why I said there is some strength, but it is not as good as the APL Apollo one. So if you have to rank your setups, and if you have to really keep the best of the best in your watch list, you know how to rank your relative strength ones. The other one, the previous example, APL Apollo, is a clear winner, where it is just uh, in an uptrend in the whole phase, and Aptech has some strength. It is making higher lows, and in fact, it made a higher high also. It made a Aptech Aptech made a new high when the index never made a new high. And then Aptech made a higher low when index made the same low. So this is what I'm saying. Even Aptech has a strength. Aptech has good strength, but at the moment it's not as clear as. This is where you have to um, practice in spot strength, because to in the first go it may not look like, because right now the price is below 20 DMA, and 20 DMA is also flat from downward from the last 5 6 days. To many newcomers it might feel that there is no strength, it is just falling with the market. But if you see the last 3 months, it made a new high when the index never made a new high. Then index fell and reached the same low point, but Aptech never reached that low point. So maybe which is why it's just consolidating, and in the coming days it can give another tight area, and it'll be a great setup to trade. So that's also a relative strength, but a tricky one where you have to practice and find and keep it in your watch list. So next is Arihant, and clearly there is it's just falling with the market. There is nothing great here. I have to fill my watch list with the best of the best. I don't see anything interesting. There's no. Uh, it's been making a base for far too long. Last entire fall from December has been just with the market. So I don't really want to go when I already have good options. So I'll skip this one. This is not a great example of relative strength. Same here. It's falling with the market. Since the market's turned, the whole phase of Artemis is also the same. So I'll just skip it. Then Bharat Forge, it's doing slightly better because here you have a dropping 20 DMA, prices below 20 DMA. Here you have a rising, flattish rising 20 DMA, price has been going up. There was a gap up yesterday, and then today earnings was there. So it's still better. So here, if I have to rank, it's not as good as APL Apollo. It's not as good as Aptech, but it is still, there is something still happening. I would like to keep it in my watch list. And yeah, this is the strength I'm talking about. Next is Bhel, clearly falling with the market, downward slope since the whole turning point. You can, to have that this cursor thing that you're saying that uh, when I get my cursor here, you can see the same date is also appearing here. To do this, you can do it by going to select layout and click on crosshair. So every time you move here, the crosshair will also come on this the same corresponding time period on the other chart. So you will know where is 26 December on Nifty mid cap and where is 26 December on the stock. What exactly happened on 26 December, how the stock behaved against the market. So that's how you do it. Then this I will discard. There's no strength here. This is BKG. Now to the naked eye, it looks like nothing great. It's falling with the market. Price is way below 20 DMA. 20 DMA is dropping. Yes. But just like the Aptech example, if you see 26 December low was this, and then 20, on 27 Jan market again touched the same low, but BKG never came close to that lowest point. It stopped way above that point, and now it's been consolidating. This is the tricky relative strength that you have to practice and spot. So this is also a stock with some strength, and now it's been consolidating. It's a new IPO stock. IPO stocks can give you big moves very, very fast. You can see this is 40% in only 4 days. So that's the kind of move we all aim for. So this is also a stock with some strength. Then last few days, things have turned here. dropping, rising. Price was above the rising 20 DMA. Last 4 days have been bad, but now it's a reversal setup. Stock with 4 or 5 down days in a row, and a lot of purple dots. It's a good stock to play reversal because overall the relative strength is there. The stock is making, you can again see this is the lowest point in December. Then on the lowest point on 27 Jan is way above the 26 low. So another higher low here. And that stock is giving you a reversal trade opportunity. So this is a stock that you can play tomorrow if there is a strong start. Canara Bank, uh, this has lost strength here completely. You can see this is a bad example. 26 was low here, and here it made a new low. On this point, it made a new low. Now it's falling worse than the market. So this is not a stock with relative strength anymore. It has lost that strength. So I will skip it, and then probably you should study banking stocks if majority of the banking stocks are doing this. If the majority of the banking stocks are now showing relative weakness, probably it is the time not to focus on banking stocks anymore. So just study and do the homework. Maybe I've not checked, but yeah, Canara Bank is definitely not showing strength anymore. Then you have Escorts clearly downward, way too long with the market. So no, I'll not take it. Making lower lows also. It has made new low way below the 26 December low also. So there's no strength here. This is also nothing great. If you want to fill your list with best of the best, stick to where you have an obvious uh, obvious strength here. Again, made a new low, lower than the 26 December low, dropping 20 DMA. Nothing great. This is a good example. FinPipe, last 5-6 days have been above rising 20 DMA and it's been very, very tight. You have a huge markets turned here down on 20 here at this point. It continued going higher even after that and then dropped. I mean, now again rising. Markets have not started rising. This is all great example of strength. I will keep it. And it's tight. So this is a ready setup for tomorrow. If there is a strong start, it should be attempted. Another good example, 5 star. You can see in the last 3 days, it has come above 20 DMA. Index is still down and it's tight, very tight here. It's an IPO stock. They can move really fast. So again, it is ready for tomorrow. This is nothing great. It's been down since the whole market down phase. So I will just skip it. No price. I mean, it's an obvious relative weakness stock. New low, downward trend. So I'll just skip it. Clear relative strength, rising 20 DMA, falling 20 DMA. Stock making new higher highs, stock making new lower highs. And now it's been consolidating. Though it's a slightly big market cap, it does not move really fast. It has only 2 ADR. But I'm just showing for the sake of showing the relative strength this stock definitely has. Maybe you can study what other stocks in this sector are doing. If other stocks in this sector are also showing relative strength, then you have a chance. You just spotted a great sector where you can find trades. Gravita is no-brainer example. It's a beautiful, beautiful setup. Rising the whole period when market fell, the stock has been going up. This is the trade I took and I've made a video on. In fact, you can see the whole period, it the whole market was dropping and it gave a trade here also. when you had these three tight area days, the index was down. Here, 20 DMA was up. Here, the 20 DMA was down. And then it broke out and made new highs. It's still making new higher highs. And today, we have an inside bar. The index is still down. This is the best example so far, even better than APL Apollo. There is a setup ready for tomorrow. It's an inside bar tight area. If it makes a new high, if it crosses the day's high, there's a trade tomorrow. GRSE clearly not as great as the other names. It has not made a new low. The low is this, and the 20th December low is this. So there is some strength, but you now have so many choices already in your watch list. It is on you, whether you want to keep it in the second ranking or second priority. The first priorities are already discussed. They are clearly superior. But yes, there is some strength still left, unless it makes a new low and breaks this low. There is some strength, and in the coming days we'll see whether the strength is getting better or it's weakening. So we'll know. But so far it's all right. It's nothing great, nothing bad. Can keep it or can skip it if you already have many options. This again, very bad. There's no strength. This is the lowest point of 26 December. It made a new low. So making lower lows, dropping 20 DMA, dropping 20 DMA. So it's falling worse than the market. So I'm not interested here. Very bad. Clearly no setup, no relative strength. This is another banking stock. Here it is making, okay, so the 20 DMA is dropping just like the whole market. Maybe the drop is not as bad as the markets. And the only interesting thing is it is making lower lows, sorry, higher lows. This is the 26th December low. Then you have the 27th December low is much higher. And now you have 4 down days in a row, 5 down days in a row. This is also can be a reversal trade, just like the BLS example. Uh, so this stock has a relative strength, which is now offering you 5 day down in a row. It can be a trade, but this is a small 2-digit stock, so it's just tricky to play them with a small stop. So you have to keep that in mind. But yeah, there is some strength against the whole market. The next is Indian Hotel. Clearly, in the last few days, it is doing better than the market. The whole time was bad, but in the last few days, especially after the earnings, it is doing better. So this is a fresh strength. We'll have to see it so we can continue watching it. But this is a future stock. Does not really move very smoothly. So keep that in mind. Again, you have options available in cash. So you can always skip this one and move to where you have an obvious relative strength for much longer period. IRB, again, here you have, it made a new low. And in the last 3 days, it's doing slightly better. You can see the 3 days are lower down days. Here it's a 3 higher day. Today also it made a tight area. So there is some strength coming only in the last 3 days. This made a new low, but the way it bounced back and closed, it's like a shakeout. And then the next 2 days also were really good. Not great example of uh, of relative strength, but give it more time, maybe it shows more evidence. Here you can see that the kind of run it gave. I would like to keep it in my watch list. It might just be forming a base, and in the coming days it gives more evidence of an obvious relative strength, and then uh, you can strike in the last 3 days, there is definitely some strength better than whole market. ITD clearly down, not interested. I'll just skip it. Same thing, JSW Steel. In the last 5-6 days, it's just like the whole market making higher highs. Higher lows here, just like the whole index. It had an amazing strength in this period, but now it's just doing with the market, so I can skip it and move to something else. This also has an amazing strength. You can see that when markets turned down, it made a new high here while the index was way below the highest point, and now it's been consolidating on the around the rising 20 DMA. When here we have a falling 20 DMA, so this is also a good example, and it's a tight area. It's ready for tomorrow. There is a strong start. One should attempt it. Then you have this Karur Bank again falling with the market. The low is almost near there. It's all right. I will just skip it. Not as good as the other example. There is strength, but again, not on a great one. Clearly, no brainer. This made a new high when markets are way below the highest point. And now it's tightening in the coming days. It can offer a trade. Definitely a obvious one where you have clear relative strength. This is bad. Again, bad. Big down days, way below the index, and nothing great happening here. So I'll just skip it. Again, bad. If you're confused, I'll give you a tip. If you're confused, then there is no strength. You will not be confused with the obvious ones, so definitely keep those. And when with practice, you will get better at picking the tricky ones also, with the clues that I just gave you, higher lows and all. But if you're still confused, then there's no strength there. Just skip it and move to the one where you are absolutely sure. This is an obvious strength. Just study this period. It's making new highs. Here it's downward, it's uptrend. So definitely something's happening here. This is also an obvious example of strength, this is what I said. You will not be confused when you see an obvious one. This is a clear obvious one, rising, falling, and tightening. Tightening is happening here. It's a future stock, so be careful. Again, this is falling with the market, not interested. Though it had a great strength here. Actually, it is just like Aptech. It made a new high here when the Nifty was way below, the index was way below the previous high. And the 26th December low is this. Actually, on 26th December, when it was pretty bad, NAC never made a new low. This was a great clue if you were watching the market. When this was the day when everything was 900 stocks were down, some 700 stocks were down. NAC made a higher low on 22nd December. The 23rd December, the low is more than higher than 22nd December's low. And then the very next day, we had a 4-day move in this whole rally. If you were really doing the RS study like this, you could have spotted this trade and probably cash on. And that stock is now, there's no setup ready, but if in the coming days, if you see tightening area, then just wait and strike. This can be a future leader, definitely. There is a good strength here. I made a point in one of the videos where I said stocks that make new high Stocks that crash with the market, but they bounce back and make a new high or come close to the highest point without the market coming to the highest point, they also have great strength and they can become future leaders. Again, NCC great strength. Clearly, you can see it's a inverse image. It's a downward trend. Here you have an upward trend, and it's been consolidating in that area. All these stocks are ready for tomorrow. This is a bad one. I don't want to go where. Again, it's downward. One point is all right. It's a rising, flattish rising. Plus, it is a very very small price stock. I will not trade a 16 rupee stock, so I'll just skip it. Definitely, this is an example of strength which broke out today. You can see if this is, let's say this is today. If this is today, you can see downward trend. Here you have a last few days upward trend and then 4 days tight, 4 5 days tight. And today it just broke out. And even today, there clear strength. The index is down, but our stock is Poonawalla is above and just made some 4 5% move today. Pry call. I bought it yesterday with the same logic that it's showing strength. It did not stick, but it's still not. It's still a valid setup. It's still surviving, and the strength is very clear. You can see the whole period is upward. This is downward. So yeah, this was the reason why I attempted yesterday. This is just like Aptech. This is the lowest point of December, but here the lowest point in Jan is way above the lowest point of December. So comparing it with the index, there is some strength, not as obvious as the APL Apollo Gravita name, but yeah, this is also similar to Aptech where it is making higher lows. And in the coming days, I will be interested in it if there is a tight area. So keep it in your watch list. This is the tricky uh, relative strength that you have to practice and spot. Again, that in turn, same thing. The lowest is way above. The low of Jan is way above the low of December. It is, this one is in downtrend. This is a flat trend with higher lows. In the coming days, I'd be interested. This is really a clearly downward trend. The lowest is also same. There's no higher lows. So I'll just skip it again. My list is already full of many names. I can't drag so many together. So why fill the list with like substandard or average names? Very bad one, clearly. This is the chart of the week that I shared. You can see I mentioned in the club that it has strength, relative strength, and this is the obvious one where you have falling, here you have rising, and there was base on base also. That's a separate reason, but yeah, if you just want to see the strength, clearly you can see it's just waiting. It's again, I mean, it's in an uptrend, not has not given a big move yet. Maybe it's waiting for the sentiment to improve before it starts making big moves. But clearly, right now at the moment, this is giving all the signs of a future leader. So let's see. And it belongs to the strongest group right now, steel. This is also the tricky one. Uh, Last few days have been good. It is making higher lows compared to the market. So it's an all right one, but you already have many obvious great ones. So choice is yours. You want to keep it or you want to skip it. Bad one, clearly bad. This is also has turned up recently in the last few days, and it belongs to the auto sector. M&M is also showing strength. TVS Motor is also showing strength. The whole auto, if you study, is showing strength against the market. But because these are future stocks, they don't really move very, very smoothly in one direction. So you have to keep that in mind. This was this is also a good relative strength, but again the tricky one. You have flattish line against the dropping line, but you have a huge higher low in the whole period. The base is good, so in the coming days can be good. So this is also a relative strength. You want to keep it or skip it, choice is yours, but this is how you practice and find out. Next is Usha. This is an obvious one. You have a huge uptrend. The stock broke out when the markets were cracking. This is the day when this is the day when Usha Martin broke out. The next 3 days, we hit the December low. The stock never made a new low. And as soon as the market stopped falling, the next 3 days it made a move of some 45% in only 7, 8 days. So this is how you spot leaders, and it's still tightening. It is getting ready in the coming days. And again, it belongs to the strong sector, which is steel metal. And also it has given a big 9 month base breakout. It's the whole consolidation is 9 month. So all everything, this is like RK Forge. It's huge base breakout, huge relative strength, belongs to very strong group. So keep your eyes open, and you can catch a big move with a very small stop. Again, next is this, not great, clearly. So just skip it. And this is a new interesting stock, which is why interesting. I'll tell you. In the last few days, clearly has been it has been making new highs. A solid move was there on the 10th last few days. And why it is interesting is because this is the stock which went up almost 200% in only 12 days, 13 days. So it was from 75 to 250 in only 10, 12 days. So this is why I called it interesting, is because a stock that moves like this has the the nature of the stock. It's a beast. It has the ability to do the same again, or if not the same, maybe similar. And now that stock is showing relative strength. So keep your eyes open. There is a tightening area, and you might catch a good trade. So yeah, so this is how I just went through random names, and this is how you spot relative strength. You can plot the chart above your stock and see if you have a great move happening. And it's easier to do it when markets are bad, because that is when you can really see the strength. In a bull market, this exercise may or may not help, because then many stocks, even the laggards, they also, even though they are not showing relative strength in the bull run, but towards the end they can also start running and catch up with the market. So this exercise is much better when things are really bad, to spot future leaders. So practice, because we're right now in the middle of a bad phase. If you start doing this regularly, and you can spot future leaders, and then maybe focus on those leaders only. You don't need to run scans every week, every day. Just focus on those names. Whenever there is a trade ready, just give them the priority and take a trade. If you have any questions, use the members club channel, which most of you don't. Please use it and let me know. And yeah, thank you.